cover every county. This is your statewide newscast. Arkansas Today.
A historic vote on the House floor last night as President Trump becomes the third president to be impeached. Good afternoon. I'm Mallory Brooks. Thanks for joining us for Arkansas Today. Last night, the House approved 2 articles of impeachment against the president, abuse of power and obstruction of Congress. The total votes for abuse of power, 230 to 197, with 1 voting present. For obstruction of justice, votes were 229 to 198. NBC's Kristen Welker reports on the president striking back at a rally with supporters at the very same time his fate was being decided.
They've been trying to impeach me from before I ran.
Overnight, President Trump stumping in the key battleground state of Michigan. At the same exact time, Congress was making his impeachment official back in Washington.
This lawless partisan impeachment is a political suicide march for the Democrat Party.
The president touting Republicans' united front against impeachment.
So we got every single Republican voted for us. Whoa.
While lashing out at Democrats.
Crazy Nancy Pelosi's House Democrats have branded themselves with an eternal mark of shame.
The White House calling the impeachment one of the most shameful political episodes in history, deeming the articles of impeachment abuse of power and obstruction of Congress as illegitimate. For his part, the president tweeting this ominous image, signaling what's likely to be his 2020 rallying cry. The stark black and white photo that reads, "In reality, they're not after me, they're after you. I'm just in the way." Spending over 2 hours on stage, the longest speech of his presidency so far. The president even invoking his 13-year-old son to slam Elizabeth Warren.
Pocahontas goes to the middle of Central Park or whatever park. She's in Manhattan. He got me. And people, I mean, I could have Barron Trump go into Central Park and he'd get a crowd that would be just as... He's 13. He'd get a bigger crowd.
But it's a scathing and deeply personal attack aimed at Democratic Congressman Debbie Dingell, who took over the seat of her late husband, Congressman John Dingell, that has the president drawing sharp criticism. The president appearing to suggest the late congressman had gone to hell.
I gave the A+ treatment. Take down the flags. Why are you taking them down? For ex-Congressman Dingell. She calls me up. It's the nicest thing that's ever happened. Thank you so much. John would be so thrilled. Thank you so much, sir. I said, that's okay. Don't worry about it. Maybe he's looking up. I don't know.
Dingell emotionally responding on Twitter. "You brought me down in a way you can never imagine, and your hurtful words just made my healing much harder."
And the next step will go to Senate for a vote. The trial will begin in January. And you heard during that story President Trump making controversial remarks about Debbie Dingell and the late John Dingell last night during that rally. It has sparked backlash from both sides. Representative French Hill, along with other members, tweeting to the president saying, quote, "Despite frustration over the House madness, no need to trash Representative John Dingell." Tonight's debate in L.A. will be the smallest and least diverse, with just 7 candidates taking the stage. That's down from 20 Democratic contenders back in June. And coming hot off the heels of impeachment vote last night, many expect the candidates to use it as leverage to help their poll numbers. According to a recent NBC poll, Biden remains in the top spot with 28% of Democratic primary voters saying they support him, trailing closely behind Senators Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren. That debate is set to kick off at 8 o'clock Eastern Time. A 19-year veteran of Arkansas State Police has resigned after being arrested for multiple crime charges. The investigation alleges Mark Holland unlawfully accessed the Arkansas Crime Information Database, then used the info to contact an Independence County woman. Holland faces stalking and terroristic threatening charges. He's being held in the Independence County Jail on a $5,000 bond. The city of Fayetteville approves a plan to transform a main highway running through Fayetteville. The Fayetteville City Council meeting ran past midnight last night. One of the agenda items was essentially a resolution to approve the entire 71B corridor work plan, and it passed. That means the city has the green light to start phase 1 of the project and begin construction.
We likely would not be able to do the full improvements under this phase, but the intention would be to get everything ready to go, and whatever we can't construct with this phase of funding, would be ready for the second phase of funding. And so 3 years from now begins construction on most all of these projects.
The goal of 71B Corridor Plan is to relieve congestion and make the corridor a nicer and safer place while improving walkability. While many are counting down the days until Christmas, some in Crossville are already prepping for the new year and to ring it in New York City style. The countdown to the new year is a tradition just about everyone across the world will partake in. Millions in the U.S. are either out having fun at church or watching the infamous ball drop on Times Square in New York City. Sarah Holloman says this is something they have wanted to bring to the area for a while now.
We've got a new leaf in Crossville that we've turned over, and so we need some events that we've never done before but that interest everybody, and who doesn't want to come and count down the new year.
The festivities will begin at 10 p.m. on New Year's Eve night. The first block of Main Street surrounding the flagpole will be shut down. There will be games, food, and entertainment. City workers will test everything out on Friday.